Okay, thank you, Sister, for joining us to be interviewed today. We really appreciate it. Now, just firstly, state your name and where you live in America and your congregation.
I'm Stacy Reineman. I'm a sister of St. Louis, born in the United States and currently living in Los Angeles, California.
And during this interculturality workshop at the Union of Superiors General, what was the most important insight you've learnt?
There was a quote shared with us on the very first day that I think in some ways shocked me into a new way of thinking. And that quote was that if religious orders cannot live interculturally, given our vows, then we have no business expecting anyone else to live it. And I find that it's a quote that I've been reflecting on these 2 weeks, and I find it true because I think as religious we're really good about praying for war-torn areas, collecting things, wanting to help, yet sometimes we have great difficulty just living with those people who are closest to us and trying to understand them.
And this links to what you're saying. Obviously, you live in America, you're American, and this is very international. There's different languages, different cultures. Even though you interact with different cultures in America, how did you find the interacting with different languages? In terms of, did you find it difficult listening to translations in 4 languages, or that was fairly straightforward for you?
I did not find it difficult listening to the different languages. It was actually quite beautiful listening to all the languages, not only the 4 that were here, but the many local languages that we heard as well on off times.
Great. And to the question, how do you think you're going to implement what you've learnt in your local community in America?
In our local community in America, our median age of our sisters is in the 80s. So we're not looking at developing new intercultural communities at this time. But the way I can see it work is for sisters just to have a better understanding of the sisters who they're living with. And for us, who at this point we're opening our communities to our African sisters who come for visits or for extended stays. And I think we could be more welcoming and understand that word of welcoming.
Excellent. And what about for your congregation of sisters worldwide? What would you suggest to your congregational leader in terms of new insights you've learnt and what you think should be implemented in other countries?
In my conversation with our sisters who are here as part of this program, it sounds like the struggles are common in all of our regions. It doesn't matter what country we're in, but understanding each other, it takes work, and I'm not sure. I think what this workshop has done is it's given us all a common language and a common approach to moving forward. And so I think that no matter if we're in Nigeria or Ghana or the United States or Ireland, we have a common language, we have a common approach now. What we need is to discover is the willingness of each sister to want to change.
And in terms of the workshop, what do you think has been the most beneficial to you in terms of your learning and for your congregation?
For me, one of the most beneficial things has been that one word, intentionality. And it does take work. But the work that it takes to live authentic religious life, to me, is no different than a married man and woman and children trying to keep their marriage strong and keep their family strong and go through the vicissitudes of life. And families can do it and grow to be an incredible family. There's no reason why we can't be intentional in our conversations with one another, get to the heart of the matter, talk about what really matters from the heart, and grow to be, the best version of ourselves.
And this workshop on interculturality here at the Unions of Superiors General in Rome, how has it enriched you personally in terms of your personal journey and your faith?
It certainly has grown and stretched me. I think, again, going back to that word intentionality. I'm a principal of a school, and as I was listening to some of this information, I'm thinking of the students in my school who, we have an international school. We have a school with many different cultures is what we have, not to mention different poverty levels. And I think I can be more intentional with regards to discovering their individual needs and in doing what I can to meet their individual needs. And I think just like we talked about building the home within a school, we can do that as well. We have new students every year. It doesn't need to be the same old, same old.
Great. And this final question, are there any gaps in your learning that you might want to learn in the future at a possible another workshop, or is there anything else that you think you want to expand on in the future in terms of your learning on interculturality?
At this point, I think that we have been given a tremendous amount of information. I think it's something that I need to go sit with and think about. I'm not sure I have any questions at this point, but the one thought that keeps coming back to me is I'm sorry that as an order we didn't have this 35 years ago, because I think that particularly in the California region, we've missed a lot of life from not truly getting to know one another. I think as a result, we haven't been as happy as we could have been, and I think I've seen a lot of fear over the years, and I think a lot of that maybe would not have existed had we had, this. But we have it now, so now the challenge is, how do we use it to move forward?
That's fantastic. Thanks a lot.